So let's say you go away to school, or you're borrowing money for a car, you're financing something, okay? And you need to take a loan out. Let's say that loan was a lovely $20,000. What we're going to try to calculate is how much we have to pay every compounding period to get rid of this loan. We're going to say that this loan, I think at the time, was 5%, okay? Which is not uncommon for a loan, okay? 5% per year. That's what they're charging me to get $20,000 to borrow it from them. The compounding period, now we usually use monthly. Again, I wanted to use something different for you guys. That's another good one. Twice a year is pretty rare for bi-weekly. That's great. Okay, we're going to say it was bi-weekly. Okay, and what that means, does anyone know what bi-weekly means?
Every 2 weeks.
How many times does 2 weeks happen in a year? How many weeks are there in a year?
52.
Okay.
52 weeks in a year.
There's 52 weeks. So if it's every 2, what do we do with this number to figure out? That's right, we divide by 2. Bi-weekly is 26. So our compound period is 26. Our interest is 5% per year. And let's say I want to pay this loan off in 3, 4? Let's go 4 years. I don't want to owe any more money after 4 years. Okay? So what that means is our present value is $20,000. We're going to calculate our interest and our N, and again we're going to isolate for R, so I figure out how much I have to pay every 2 weeks to be done my loan in 4 years' time. Okay? So let's plug our values in. 20,000 was our PV. Our regular payments is still R, that's what we're solving for. The rest of the formula to write in, 1 minus 1 plus. Now I have to calculate I. Does anyone remember how we calculate I?
Percentage.
Yeah, percentage.
26.
And what does 26 stand for? Yeah, it's also known as our compounding period.
That's the word I was looking for.
Good. Well, you had it right. You know what to do. So we take that 0.05, we divide by 26. Very odd number. 0.00192. Okay? 0.001923. So I got a pretty large number for I. So I'm going to put it in 0.01923. I want to be as accurate as possible. Okay? The other thing we need to calculate is our N. N is equal to what? How do we figure out the number of periods? How many times I have to pay into this loan? It's bi-weekly. Okay, so the compounding period, which is 26. 26 times what? 4. The amount of years I do this for. 4 years. What does that equal? 64? No. 104. Is that right, guys? 26 by 4. 104. Beautiful. So our power, our N, is negative 104. And it's negative 104 because it's present value. Okay? And again, we're going to divide by...
So is it always negative?
In present value, yeah, it's going to be negative.
Always?
Yeah, that's the formula.
Always up in value.
Okay? So, the first thing we need to do is isolate for R. We want to move the bottom of our fraction. It was the exact same thing we did with future value. And to move it, because it's division, we multiply. Okay, so I'm going to write the right side. The right side is still just the top of the fraction. Actually, I'll write it here. The top of the fraction, which reads R. 1 subtract. When I add 1 to this number, it just takes over that value. So we get 1.001923 to the power of negative 104. Okay? And now remember, I'm taking this bottom and multiplying it by 20,000 to give me my new number on the left. So 20,000 times 0.001923. 38.46. The next step is we're going to simplify this bracket. It was the exact same step we did when we were doing the future value. So let's simplify that bracket. We got to take this number in the bracket and put it to the power of negative 104. 1.00 1923 to the power of 104 when it's negative. Okay? That is equal to this. I then take that number and I subtract it from 1. Okay? So this idea, you would have to rewrite it out. I'm going to do something in my calculator where I do this and then add 1. Okay. So the simplified version of this bracket is 0.18811. Oh, I said too many 8s. 1811. What I did was, I'll explain it in 1 second. Now that we've simplified this, the last step is still to isolate R. Figure out these regular payments. How do I move that bracket? That's right. Because it's multiplication on this side, we move it over, it becomes division. So I got to divide 38.46 by 0.1811. That will tell us what my regular payments are. Every 2 weeks, what I'd have to pay to this bank to be rid of my loan. So 38.46 divided by 0.1811 equals 212.37. 200, well, that's $212, and we rounded up to 37 cents. So, in order to pay off $20,000 over the course of 4 years, every 2 weeks I'd have to pay them $212, which is like almost paying $400 a month for 4 years to get rid of that loan. They get a lot of money from me.